All right, looks like we're live. What's up? What's up, guys? All our
Hey,
viewers, good day,
hey.
good day. Tiger, good to see you.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good earlier morning from me here in the States. 6:30 a.m.
Earlier for
Let's
me, which is pretty good, but I was just wondering about you.
Great. Yeah. I couldn't sleep last night. I laid down early enough and I don't know, just one of those nights, tossed and turned. So I got enough sleep for the show. That's all that
Oh,
matters.
damn. Sorry, I was just closing something down here. I was making a bit of a racket. Right,
Yeah.
all of you is welcome, welcome. What's up, guys? Elga Prime Plus, Ayo Baba Lola, good day, good day. Yeah, we got a new format going, right? This session's starting a little bit earlier, so we're just trying out something new. So let us know what you guys think in the chat after the session. Maybe give us a few days, come up with some opinions. We'd love to hear back from you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the session. We're only going to go on for an hour and a half, and we're going to pass on over to the opening bell with the futures guys, Daryl, Tony, and Paul, the futures coaches. So yeah, we'll just keep things rolling on the Forex side of things, see if we can get any trades going for you guys, analyze the markets, and just have some fun, right? Again, as always, you've got any questions, guys, drop them there in the chat. We are monitoring the chat. We'll get back to you guys. So yeah, Tiger, maybe take us away. What you looking at? I know it's a little bit early on your side, or were you up so early that you already know what's happening for the remainder of the day?
I got plenty of things to look at. One thing I do want to point out to everybody in the chat, please do make sure and go to our Discord channel. We have a channel that's renamed, and let me just double check. So it is called, dang it, where did it go? Where'd it go? Oh my gosh. Trade Secrets. Sorry.
There we go.
So just look for the hashtag Trade Secrets channel under the Ola Prime Community tab. It'll be Ola Prime Community is going to be all caps. So just look below that. And if for some reason you don't see it, you can simply go to the very top where it says channels and roles, and you can click on that within the browse channels tab and find that. Just put a check mark by it. But basically, we are going to be giving away a couple 5K Forex accounts as well as one 25K futures account. Okay,
That's right.
so all you got to do to enter that is just simply go to that Trade Secrets channel and just enter the word Forex Fire inside of it. There'll be several people adding that in today, so our back end team they'll go through and randomly select somebody from those from all those names, from all those people that entered. So yeah, it's just as simple as that. Just go enter the words Forex Fire in the Trade Secrets channel, and you may be a lucky winner. Again, we'll be giving away a couple 5K Forex accounts, 125K futures account today. So definitely get your name added in there, and good luck to you all. I think we'll be doing some fun drawings like that throughout the course of the week. But yeah, we've kind of changed the structures of the shows around. So yeah, we'll be doing the Forex Fire 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So just add an hour from New York City or the Eastern Standard Time. Yep. And then yeah, opening bell right after us. That'll be the futures shows basically from 8 a.m. through 11 a.m. And then the cool thing is we're going to have Adelina come back. Coach Adelina, she'll be actually on for an hour doing some futures trading from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, just add an hour for Eastern Standard, New York City time. But yeah, we'll get Adelina back in the mix. It's going to be a kind of cool. Richard, I'm looking forward to it. You got all of us crazy guys on here, and now we get a woman's perspective on the market. So I'm excited.
Keep us in check a little bit. That's good.
Keep
really like
us
it.
Guys in check.
Exciting stuff.
And Lord knows those futures guys need to be kept in check, right? So
absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, that'll be good. I think women are some excellent traders. I know a handful of them that I've had as mentors and that I've actually been taught trading from. So it's going to be awesome to get that perspective. And then following her show at noon, at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, that'll be the Mag 7. That'll be Coach Daryl and Tony again. Mm-hmm. Showing us the Mag 7 stocks. So that's especially exciting for me because I did just get a new challenge account that came with quite a few of the stock tickers. So And then, yeah, following that show will be the futures live on through the closing bell with with all three of the coaches.
Yep.
So yeah, good stuff planned. Gonna play around with this structure and see how you guys like it. So yeah, like Richard said at the outset, just give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. But yeah, this is cool, Richard. I'm excited about this time frame because
Absolutely.
it's for Forex, it's right in the middle of the London and New York City overlap. So yeah, we should see some pretty good volatility during this time frame. I'm looking forward to it. So
Good stuff.
So yeah, here we go. As far as just kind of taking a look at some currency strength, Richard, the only thing that changed was the New Zealand dollar just got a little bit stronger. That's it. So all the other currencies remained the same. The New Zealand dollar went from a 60% to a 67%. So that just simply means they had another report where they exceeded expectations. So they did just get a little stronger, but nothing's going to beat the Aussie dollar at this time. It's sitting there at 100%. So I'll go ahead and delete the old one over there. But yeah, for this week, as any chance I get to buy the Aussie dollar and pair it with a weak currency like the British pound, who's only exceeded expectations on 29% of their reports, that's going to be easy game plan for me. So buy Aussie, sell the pound, maybe sell the euro. That's going to be my main trade plan this week, to be honest. So that's that. And then as far as the current top setups and just kind of comparing from last week, let's do this. Let's do this. I don't know why I put the whole thing on here, but yeah, I know the Aussie yen is going to be the top currency that I'll be looking at, top currency pair. I'll tell you what, let's just do that. I'm going to have to start making these a little smaller. Yeah, Aussie yen, very top. Plus 12, Richard. This thing's looking pretty strong, really strong.
Nice.
So again, 100% on the economic outperformance of the Aussie dollar. So it's no surprise that we have a couple Aussie pairs at the very top. Aussie yen at a plus 12, Aussie New Zealand dollar at a plus 9. So again, everybody in the chat, I know this is a new time for us. So if we've got some new members watching, just a super fast recap. Basically, I take all the economic data releases. If it exceeds expectations, it gets a +1 or a +2, depending on the strength of it. If it misses expectations, it gets a -1 or a -2. If it hits the expectation right on the nose, it gets a 0. So it's basically a wash. But yeah, we just simply add up all the bullish scores, subtract the bearish scores, it gives me a score. Real simple as that. +5 or higher is a bullish score. +9 or higher is a very bullish score, and we have a couple of them. So again, it's that Aussie yen, Aussie New Zealand. So that's going to be my number 1 and number 2 bullish bias setups for the day.
What's that? Aussie yen and Aussie New Zealand?
Yes, Aussie yen, Aussie New Zealand. That's right.
Cool.
And then on the flip side, again, that Aussie dollar being the strongest currency, I'm getting a signal to sell it or to buy it and sell the British pound at the very bottom. So same thing in reverse. -5 or lower is a bearish score. -9 or lower is a very bearish. So real simple game plan for today, for this week. Aussie New Zealand, Aussie yen to buy, pound Aussie, pound CAD to sell. That's going to be my top 4 setups.
Gotcha.
It's from a fundamental bias. So, and then let's see here. Gold and silver did fall off the list. So I think they're hovering in the neutral range of like +4, +3. So I'm not too interested in those items today from a swing trade perspective, but definitely on a small time frame, 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute supply and demand zone potentially. Cool. So we'll take a look at that as well. The FTSE, it's on there as a bearish score of -7. So we'll see if we can sell some feet. And no, I'm not talking OnlyFans. Okay, we're gonna be selling some footsies on the charts potentially. So we'll see how that goes.
Good stuff. TCBO, yeah, I'm keeping a close eye off screen here to the euro-US dollar. I think there could be a little bit of a reversal coming in. It's been trending upwards most of the day, so well, let's see. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm actually got the euro US dollar open here. So while I'm here, maybe just give you a quick breakdown. I use market geometry. So if you're new to this channel, I basically look at angular support and resistance using channels, pitchforks, those sort of things. And then when prices hit these areas of mine, like it has recently, got a bounce, we actually underthrew the lower end of this angular support line a second time around. But what's really interesting here is it's probably done it by the same angle as previously. So something like that, yeah. So we are getting a bounce to the upside. Just before, sorry, I'm thinking intraday wise, we could maybe get a little bit of a decline. I'm watching things off screen on another chart there, but it will just have to be probably a scalp. A reason being is that the dollar index is coming down at the moment. So there's my dollar index chart. Price has, obviously since it hit the lower median line of this long-term pitchfork that I have on my chart here, after it reached it the second time around, we had that very nice strong bounce to the upside. So I just wanted to quickly show you that. Let's open this chart up again. Then we had a pullback right to this green area where I basically expected support to come in, and then we broke again above the 5th of November's high. So we are seeing a slight decline here. So, that's probably obviously why we're seeing the euro US dollar strengthening a little bit. Again, just trying to find some intraday trades here, not on the swing trading side of things, but I was mentioning on, when was it, last week, Friday and Thursday, is that I would expect some sort of decline to come in at some stage. Reason being is if you just look from this low of here, we got 5 legs higher now, all right? So last week, when was it? On Thursday, we made a double top with that previous high, and now we just clipped it, and now we're reversing lower. So this could also just be a little correction, and we do this again and then come lower. So obviously, we won't know that until after the fact. But since we have a 5-wave sequence to the upside, I'll be rather cautious about the dollar index, continuing high with a lot of strength or gusto. So yeah, and we're saying the euro US dollar might be reversing lower a little bit, but yeah, it will have to be an intraday type of trade, or otherwise, if the strength persists like it has since this morning, then might have to stick with the long side. So we'll see. Yeah. Mr. Peep, we have the government announcing the budget for the coming year later this week. So if you're looking at anything UK-based, be aware. Absolutely. So I've not touched the FTSE for quite some time. So I don't even know what the counts and stuff on that are anymore. So yes, Simon Mutz, how's it going? He's having a laugh. And
yeah, UK and the euro. I mean, yeah, the FTSE. Look, the FTSE and the DAX. Okay, the DAX being obviously the main euro stock market. They're missing a lot of expectations on their reporting. So just looking at the DAX in Germany, obviously the euro's main stock index, they're only sitting at about a 33%. So that just simply means they're underperforming all the economists' expectations. But the UK FTSE, it's only sitting at a 14%. So it's currently the worst performing stock index among the 8 majors as far as just economic underperformance, outperformance. It's underperforming. So yeah, it's not looking the greatest, and it's no surprise it's showing as a top setup for a potential sell. Again,
just
not
quickly
the only
on the pound US dollar. Sorry, Tiger.
Yeah.
Just trying to get some ideas going here. Price has been stuck a little bit in some wishy-washy price action here since yesterday, actually, when the markets opened. So we're just breaking out of that. We are heading towards a potential area of resistance, this dash median line switching to the upside. Let me just quickly talk you through that. So I've got a long-term median line, pitchfork on my chart here. Price under through that area around about, again, 5th November. and we made a move upwards. We had a bit of a triangular formation, and it's a bit premature to draw that pitchfork sloping upwards. But what is really cool here is price touched down on it again on Wednesday last week and again on Friday, and it's now trying to push up. I'm still thinking that this move higher is an incomplete correction. So I am seeing more upside potential on the pound US dollar. But again, we'll have to play it very carefully, especially with all that news and stuff coming out a little bit later. So that's the plan there. And it's also the reason why I had that pitchfork on here. Let me just bring it back. And I was using these anchor points because I'm thinking, and not this one over here, is because I think this was a triangle formation. So if this was, and it does look like a triangle formation in my mind at least, then you should want to use the anchor point from where the correction started from and not the actual high over there. Again, guys, lots of subjectivity involved when it comes to using market geometry and trading, but obviously I've been doing this for multiple years, so that's just why I anchored it there rather than this point here. So in case you wanted to point out that I'm making mistakes here. But anyway, I hope I'm not. But price is sort of been trying to break through this angle. You can see this last week Friday again, and we're about to hit it now again. What I would like to see here is a break of that previous high. Let's make that white. A little high here from last week, Thursday. Looks like price is gunning through there. So if we can get a nice close, and actually on this candle, it's got another 11 minutes or so left. If we can get a nice close above that area, then that would tell me that price potentially got enough legs to maybe today, tomorrow, whatever, make it towards, come on, where's my parcel gone? Towards the median line at least, all right? Giving me enough space to execute intraday trades with a bullish bias, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm keeping an eye on that as well. Yeah, what do you have on your side again? Sorry, I interrupted this. Just wanted
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, as far as that autumn, that autumn forecast statement he was mentioning, yeah, that's Wednesdays, 6:30. So right at the start of our Wednesday show, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard. So that comes out, and I was actually just poking it in to get a little bit of a summary from it, just to see if there's anything interesting to point out on it. Unusually important risk event. Budget's reception will hinge on its perceived credibility, adherence to strict fiscal discipline, a fiscal short. Okay, let's see here. Spending cuts, growth boosting measures, inflation busting measures. All right, they're going to be doing some ghost busting. So there we go. Yeah, we'll do a little deep. I'll do a little deeper dive into that on Wednesday when that comes out. But yeah, that's really the main. I think that was the main event for the pound this week. I was just looking here, apply filter. Yeah, that's basically it. Now, why is that showing me?
That's Mr. Peeps was saying there's a supply zone on the pound US dollar. I'm sure.
Pound dollar
which time frame are you looking at?
Let's take a look. We're on my
2132. You're the expert in that.
This is a daily. Okay, so obviously lower lows, lower highs. My edge finder does have it as a -6 bearish score. So yeah, if anything, I'd be looking to sell this puppy. As far as supply zones go, let's see here. I drew up a 2-hour zone. I did this last week. We did kind of wick in and reject a little bit, but nothing too crazy, nothing too strong. It's just a lot of ugly sideways action right now. I do have a supply zone a lot higher up on a 1 hour, I believe it is, which is pretty nice because it's got a little gap below it, that little white box I drew up the other day. So pretty decent gap. Let's take a look at that from a higher time frame real quick. Okay, so this would be that same supply zone on a 4-hour chart. But yeah, we're kind of hugging this downtrend line currently. So it's going to be interesting to see if it does finally bounce to the bottom side. I don't think I'm interested in selling this point. I mean, it is kind of former support turning into resistance. If we're looking at all this action over here, it's already poked in once. I think the move might already be over with because, yeah, if we go back to that 1 hour time frame or 2 hour time frame where I drew up that zone, we've already moved let's see, proximal line. Let's just say we put a stop loss in this area. Okay, it's about 35 pips, and it's already moved 66. So it's already basically moved to 2 to 1. So yeah, I think this area is pretty much out of play. Now there's obviously going to be people thinking, well, if it hits the zone multiple times, it just strengthens it. But that's a support resistance mindset. I look at things from a supply and demand perspective. So to me, this wick right here probably took the bulk of, if not all of, the unfilled orders from this area. And I personally wouldn't be interested in trying to short this unless we start to get, push back up here into said 1 hour supply zone and see if we can get a bounce off of that. But yeah, not sure if that was the time frame you were talking about. Let's see here, Mr. Peeps, nice one of the coaches has the same idea as me. Yeah, supply zone. Okay, 130, 132. Yeah, 130, 132. Yeah, what time frame are you looking at? 4 hour chart, I think I have it as. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's go back. 130, 132. Well, that would be basically right about here. Yeah, okay. So it looks to me like you're kind of looking at this area here. If that's the 4 hour chart you're looking at. Does that look right, Mr. Peeps? Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad spot. As picky as this might sound, it looks to me like it's already been touched on this candle, though. That's now, it didn't go that deep into it, but it has been mitigated. In my book, that's mitigated. In my book, I color that light red, just showing there's something sketchy about it.
32. So yeah, that's still what 132 said.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, 130, 132. Yeah, we're basically looking at this line, 130, 132. So he's looking at okay, yeah, that's what he's looking at. So he's just ignoring the bottom wick. Yeah, that's fine. Some people use the body, some people use the wicks. I personally just like to incorporate the wicks. But yeah, no, that's definitely a better risk-reward management. So if you're looking at the body and ignoring the wick, then yeah, that has not been touched. So we can definitely do this. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll leave the wick as far as the box, but the line represents the body. So I see what you're seeing. That's not bad. And the cool thing too is, you get priced to bounce up into that. You've also got this downtrend line just to act as a little bit of an odds enhancer, right? So yeah, I could definitely see it as a short. I'm actually going to put an alert on this thing. Thanks, Mr. Peeps.
I might want to trade it towards there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the hopes that it's actually going to get there, but we'll see a little bit later.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. But yeah, we might be able to run into that today. So I'll just put my alert right at that, right at the proximal line of the body, the bottom of the real body of it. But yeah, I mean, that was a strong decline. I mean, that's a pretty good push. I wish that this price would have happened on this candle or even this candle, because think about it. It took 8 hours. If this is a 4 hour candle and this is a 4 hour candle, well, look at here. The next 4 hour candle really isn't that far below the start of it to begin with. We're only talking by about 10 pips from here to here. I personally like zones that price forcefully moves away right away. So this one did take 8 hours. So that would be my only hang up with trying to short it. I would probably still short it. I'm there with you, Mr. Peeps. I'm just not going to put a full risk on it. I'll probably do something smaller, maybe a 0.5%, 0.2%, right? Definitely ain't going to be putting any 1% or 2% risk trades on this thing. So yeah, I like it. I might even take a stab at that with you. So yeah, at this point, it just needs to bounce up another 20 pips or so, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's great. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice.
Let's see here. We got so yeah, I just wanted to take one more quick look at setups here. So yeah, Aussie yen, Aussie New Zealand. Let's just go take a look at those. See if we can't find a spot to buy. I love the plus 12s. And this is another thing, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of helps me determine my my risk. So I tend to play it pretty conservative. It's very, very rare that I do a 1% of my balance trade or a 2%, right? I just like to go for the smaller amounts. I like to be able to sleep at night. I like to be able to step away from my computer, right? So that's just the way I play it. 0.2%, 0.5% per trade. That's the way I like to do it. So yeah, but again, especially like this dollar Swiss, right? CAD yen. These are bullish scores. They're plus fives, but they're not plus 8, plus 9, plus 12. So this is a good example of where I would risk a little bit more on the minimum side per trade. Up here is closer to the 0.5%, 1%, right? As far as risk. So really the score kind of helps me to dictate how much money I want to bet on it or risk on it. So, but that's just the way I play it. Let's go look at Aussie yen and Aussie New Zealand and see what we come up with. Okay, daily time frame on the Aussie yen, higher highs, higher lows. 4 hour. The best one I have as far as where I would definitely, I don't want to say bet the farm, but I would be okay with a higher risk is going to be way down here at the 99.5 level, because I got that 4 hour demand zone tucked nicely inside of a daily demand, which is going to be the yellow box, the yellow rectangle, but a little bit closer on some smaller time frames. I do have a 15-minute demand right here. Now, with a gap, a little bit of a gap. So that's really the play for me, I think, at the moment. But if I were to get into this demand zone trade right here, so again, it's going to be this green candle. Just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little easier. Okay, it'd be this one. Why not this one? Well, because it's already been touched, overlapped by this wick. This wick has already overlapped the wick the candle at the bottom of this origin, the origin of this strong move up, right? So that to me looks like the first inefficiency I see in the market. Zooming in a little closer, right? Because from this candle to the second candle, that's where your gap is. That's gonna be where that gap is, right? This impulse move out of that zone looks pretty good. So yeah, that's going to be my first spot to possibly get into this on a smaller time frame. Again, a 15-minute time frame. Even kind of drilling down a little more on a 5-minute, looking at that same zone. Yeah, you're just it's not much of a gap, but you're technically getting a little bit of a gap here as well. I mean, the gap does go. Let me clarify that. The gap does go from here to here, but the challenge is the gap, the fair value gap traders looks like won that. So they've already pierced most of this fair value gap, and then price obviously shot up. But so yeah, if you're a fair value gap trader and you bought into there, you're pretty happy. I just personally go for the unfilled orders down here. So that's the spot I'm waiting on. If this fails, then it makes sense because the gap traders already took all the excitement out of it. Took all the fun out of it, Richard.
Yep. Sorry, I'm concentrating on the side here. You do your thing.
No, you're good. You're good.
See if I can get into a pound US dollar trade, but let's see.
Yeah. And just a reminder, everybody, I do want to mention this a handful of times today. Definitely make sure and go to the Discord channel if you haven't. Look for that hashtag Trade Secrets channel. And make sure and enter the words Forex Fire, and that'll enter you into the drawing for one of two 5K Forex accounts, challenge accounts, and then an additional 25K futures account. So there's going to be 3 that are pulled today from the hat. So definitely go and do that. As always, you guys can just simply go to allaprime.com, which I'll just show here real quick, just in case you have not.
Just a quick note, Tiger, I've seen that they require that you put in the password and then also put in your email address, right? So password with the email address, and then that will enter you into the draw.
There you go. Password, email address, hashtag Trade Secrets. But yeah, if you haven't joined Discord, just simply go to our website, allaprime.com, and right here you can click Discord. They'll probably put a link in as well. So there's a couple different ways of doing it. But yeah, you just simply click Join Discord button right here and do your thing right there. So yeah,
I'm long the pound US dollar. Sorry about that, guys. If you can just quickly share my screen.
Yeah.
You can talk. I'll just show
no problem. No worries. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just taking a little stab at this. We got a little bit of a pullback right into these previous highs over there. I actually want to see if we can milk this a little bit today.
Milk it.
Milk it for as much profit as possible. So,
Y'all didn't know we were dairy farmers. We're gonna milk these profits.
come on, what am I doing here? 13125.
How you liking?
Take profits. 3125. No. Well, I am liking it. I'm just like fumbling it now at the moment, unfortunately.
No
Stop
worries.
loss is in at least.
No
3-1.
worries.
That's why, not 3-2. That'll be one heck of a profit. There we go.
Yeah, I'll just let's see here. Yeah, I'm just going to take a quick look at this week's calendar. Yeah, nothing major today. Christine Lagarde in the Eurozone is going to flap her lips here at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looks like she's going to speak at the Bratislava AI Forum in Bratislava. So that'll be
Bratislava.
Miss Lagarde flapping the lips, speaking this morning. The Eurozone did have their German IFO business climate release. Looks like they missed expectations. They had a forecast of 88.6, only got a 88.1. So the picture in Germany is looking a little bit bleak here for the year-end economic look. But that, according to Forex Factor, that was more of a medium impact release. So not a red impact or a high impact. The first high impact readings we have is tomorrow morning at 7:30 Eastern, or I'm sorry, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 a.m. So that'll be in the middle of the pre-market pulse show. Did I say that right? No, the opening. I'm sorry. Got to get these new shows in my head right. Opening bell, yeah. So that'll be the first. That'll be the first red folder event we have. That's for the dollar producer price index reports and the retail sales. So we got the core readings and the regular readings. Dollar, and then let's see here. And tomorrow we also have the Australia dollars consumer price index report coming out. So we'll see how their inflation is going. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New Zealand, they've got some events coming out. Guess what they have coming out tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard? It's going to be their official cash rate, where they are projected to drop 25 basis points from a 2.5% to a 2.25. And then they'll flap it with the policy statement thereafter. That's tomorrow. And then Wednesday, quite a bit of goodies. Obviously, we got that autumn forecast statement that Mr. Peeps was mentioning earlier. So that'll be 6:30. Yeah, again, that's when our show starts on Wednesday. So 6:30 a.m. Central, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. And then an hour later, we have the unemployment claims for the dollar. Oh, that's something else I wanted to talk about, was some of these reports that are starting to get released. So I'll touch on that in a second. Namely, the COT report, Richard. Oh, my favorite's back. My favorite's back, but with a caveat. So I'll get into that.
I knew you would like that.
Well, I partially like it. I'll explain.
Like CO2 number nerd. Have you ever tried to see that report, that the actual release? It's like reading a cell phone bill. it's like
reading an alien phone book. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's horrible.
And I used to do it. I mean, honestly, not a ton, but when I got this tool that simplified it, just made me even more nerdy. But anyway, to finish out on the week, let me go back to my calendar. Yeah, unemployment claims, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Dollars. So the dollar. Okay, so Wednesday at, well, tentative. It says tentative. It says tentative, but it says we're supposed to get the personal consumption expenditure report, the PCE. As always, that's the Fed's favorite gauge. Their favorite gauge to see how the economy's running. So not sure if we'll get that yet. It does say tentative, okay, just like Japan likes to do with all their releases. Tentative. But yeah, that is tentatively.
Johnny Boy's with you there. It's like he joined a little bit late, but welcome, Johnny Boy. I've seen you during the future sessions as well in the chat there. Also liking the COT report.
The report, yeah, I'll touch on that here in just a second, like less than 1 minute. but yeah, let's see here. And then the only other red folder event is Friday for Canada's gross domestic product. Their month-over-month numbers coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, projected 0.2% higher than last time's minus 0.3%. So we'll see how that all shapes out. Commitment of traders, Richard. Commitment of traders. I actually have a little bit of an update on that. It's a little bit complex, so I'm just going to simplify it the best I can. So we did get some of the first numbers up on Friday. Well, the thing to remember is the numbers we got. I'm actually going to copy and paste this over here so we can take a look at this together. It's not updated as of Tuesday like it normally would. So let me just go over here and paste this. Okay, so this is basically the schedule for how the commitment of traders report, which again, guys and gals in the chat, it's just simply, what are the big banks buying? Are they net long an asset? Or are they net short the asset? Because I personally like to ride the coattails of what the big banks are doing. And if you're a supply and demand trader, Mr. Peeps, I know you were asking about the supply zone earlier. If you're a supply and demand zone trader like me, this is something you've got to at least understand, because again, the banks are the ones that move the markets. You and I, me and Richard, Mr. Peeps, hey, none of us on this chat, Johnny boy, none of us have the power to move a market, TCBO, okay? We're just little grains of sand in the ocean. But the banks are the gigantic boulders, okay? So they're the ones that move it. So when I see that the banks are buying something or selling something, I like to try to be in sync with them. Okay, it's not the end all be all, but it's a very big piece to the puzzle in my book. And that's why when we take a look at obviously my top setups, it's just one piece of the puzzle. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, to this schedule. So here we are Friday, let's see here, Friday the 21st. So it looks like we actually got a little bit on Wednesday, which I didn't know about this until over the weekend. I was studying this. So Friday, so let's just ignore the first one. Friday was 11:21, and I know that's a little bit fuzzy. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, so on Friday, okay, the Friday report was the original data that was supposed to have been released on October 10th. So basically a month and a half late. And that would have been the October 7th readings, because again, the report is always current as of the Tuesday prior to the Wednesday to the Friday when it's released. So tomorrow's Tuesday. The commitment of traders reports will be created, but we don't get to see it. We're not privileged enough to see it until Friday. So it's always 3 days old, typically. But with the government shutdown, they're actually releasing it every 3 days instead of every Friday. And they're just doing it long enough for this date to catch up to this date, to where it's only 3 days behind.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So if I just skip to the very bottom, okay, on January 23rd, we'll have the data as of January 20th. So that's 3 days 3 days previous. That's the way it's supposed to be. But the report kind of has to play catch up. So again, 21st. So right here, it's about a week and whatever that is, a week and 14 days old. Okay, down here, it's a week and 9 days old. Or a month and 9 days, guys. I'm sorry. A month and 14 days, a month and 9 days old. Okay, a month and 9 days old, I think. So basically, it's just going to take a couple months to get to where the actual data we get is from Tuesday. It's a pain in the ass, but that's just the best that they're doing for us, I guess. So they're not releasing all the numbers all at once. I don't know why in the hell they're doing it this way, but it is what it is. So we won't really get a true, accurate, 100% accurate reading until January 23rd, which is where it will only be 3 days old like it's supposed to be. So kind of a bummer, but I still think it's valuable, just because, again, that's the data that everybody else is getting, right? That's the data everybody else is getting. So yeah, hopefully that didn't confuse anybody too much. But having said that, at least we have new numbers, and those are the numbers that I'm going to go for or go by just as one little piece to the puzzle. So just one piece. So anyway,
can we go to my screen quick, Tiger, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Pounder is breaking to the upside. I have to share that tab. Here we go. There we go. So we got a nice breakout upwards. Again, guys, not a massive trade here. You obviously have to decide your own risk that you want to take on here. It was just to dip my toes for the day, I suppose. And I've actually lowered my target a little bit. I'm going to tighten the stop as well.
Tippy toe.
I don't want to do it too tight, but it's fine. If I get stopped out, it's cool. I've got my target underneath 1.3119. It's also where that supply zone is that you guys talked about. And if I were to go to my other chart, it is right there where we got this angular line, which price rejected from once, twice, 3 times. Maybe we'll get a breakthrough it now, but I don't want to sit in a scenario where I do scalp trade here and price hits it and I'm gunning for a target much higher up and then we get a reversal. So let's see. I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. So I did muck around here a little bit for some time, but we are seeing a bit of a move upwards here. Right.
Muck around.
What else are you looking at there, Tiger? You were saying, what was it, AUD? Japanese yen?
Yeah, Aussie. So yeah, Aussie yen, Aussie New Zealand. I think are you still keeping an eye on Aussie New Zealand? I know you were talking about it quite a bit recently.
Yeah, I mean, I can quickly chat about that while this is doing this thing. And switch back. Am I on the right screen? Yes, I am. AUD NZD. I've had it here on my radar for a very long time now.
Yeah.
And last week I traded a short here during one of these sessions. And I was saying that I'm thinking we are declining in a fourth leg. I think this recent high that we've seen here that came in on the 13th of November was potentially the end of a third wave, very impulsive third wave. Hopefully this was not the case. And then that was it. And now we're going to head much lower. But it's bullish on your side, right?
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a benefit of the doubt. I believe we might be dealing with a fourth wave correction. I actually want price to come lower first.
Yeah, me too.
A little bit more. Maybe another leg lower. That's why I've drawn this yellow line here. Mimicking that first drop. So we could head a little bit higher and then come lower. That's also be perfectly fine. But I'm looking for some sort of a zigzag type of behavior. Maybe even lower towards this lower dash median line here, which previously acted a little bit resistance turned into support, again from an angular nature. So if price can either make it to this low median line, this blue one over here, or even lower, even better, then I'll be trading this to the upside. And this will be a swing trade where we want to hold this for a little bit longer, assuming that could be a fifth wave to the upside. Right, so that's also how I try to figure out where we are within the trend. Is there more upside potential? I do think so. I do think the current decline we're seeing is corrective, so I'll be treating it as such.
Yeah. No, I agree.
1.5125. 5125. Sorry, I'm reading what Johnny Boy is saying here.
51.25.
125. Yeah, so it is within. You mean it's just tested it, right, Johnny Boy?
51.
5125 is all the way up here. Yeah, I mean, it might hold. What I'm trying to do here with this, Johnny Boy, is assume that I still want to trade this to the upside, but I want a deeper correction. And generally, when you have a first move lower, and I'm again looking at a higher time frame here, your most common correction are ABCs or zigzags. So I want something like this. So yeah, although this might hold intraday, I'm hoping for a deeper decline in the bigger picture. but still be bullish, right?
Yeah, and that 5-minute supply zone he's talking about, I mean, it's right inside of a beautiful, well, I wouldn't say beautiful, it's inside of a 1-hour supply zone. So that's a pretty good confluence. I mean, you've got the strength of the higher time frame supply and around that one. So yeah, back in, show me, just go over real quick to my chart. I'll show you what I was talking about. So yeah, for that supply zone, okay, it's going to be right in the middle of this zone here. So if I just turn off my order block tool, you'll see that. Okay, green candle, big spike down. Let me get rid of that. That's old news over there. That's old news. But if I go down to the 5-minute time frame, like he was talking about, that supply zone is basically going to be this candle here.
Yep.
So it's going to be that red candle. Okay, and it's inside of a higher time frame. So that's the confluence that I love to see. So I like it. I think it's a great idea for a small time frame. Now, me personally, I prefer buying this. But yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at it from technical only, okay, if you're looking at a supply zone on a 5-minute time frame, you would definitely be wanting to go to at least like a 30 or a 1 hour to see if we're getting lower lows, lower highs. There's your 30-minute. Okay, you do have a lower low. Could that be the start of the lower high? I guess we'll find out. Might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I've seen worse setups, especially since it's wrapped inside of a higher time frame, a 1 hour supply zone. So yeah, it's definitely worth the shot taken. Yeah, I could definitely see hitting that line and bouncing down, something like that. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, with me, with looking at it fundamentally and seeing that it's got a very strong score, right? Very strong, very bullish score of a +9. I think I personally would skip it, but no, have at it. I mean, 1 hour time frame, you got lower lows, lower highs. I guess you could look at it from that point of view. I just would feel a little more comfortable taking that short if we were to break this low right here. So that would kind of be my thing. This is what I would do. I would want to do. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I feel comfortable doing. As always, we're not a signal service. we're here for entertainment, education purposes. But if I were to get into that 1 hour supply and that 5-minute supply that you were talking about, I would want to see that supply zone show strength. Well, what shows a zone? How does a zone show strength? It does it by breaking structures, by breaking other opposite supply. So we can break this structure down here and then get a retracement. That would make a little more sense to me, because we would be breaking this structure here, this bottom, this swing low, right? But so far it hasn't done that. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense from a supply zone perspective. I'm just telling you what I would do. I would make it prove itself just to show that strength, before trying to sell it in that 5-minute, that 1 hour. But yeah, Good luck to you on that. Let us know how it goes. But as far as the 4 hour zone I'm looking at, Richard, to buy from, yeah, we've got basically a daily demand. If I go all the way out to the daily, okay, we got this zone because we got a little bit of a gap, okay, between this second candle and obviously the zone candle itself. So that's the daily demand. Now, it hasn't broken any structures, okay? So I'm not too excited about this. I'm more excited about this zone all the way down here. But if I'm just looking at this current one, it's given me two zones. It's given me, turn off my drawings. It's basically given me, well, kind of this zone here and then this zone down here. So this candle and this candle. This one though, down here being the at the origin of the strong move up. So I'm more interested in this if I'm trying to get into a more near-term demand zone trade on this. It'd be that one. Yeah. Now, the one thing, the one good thing about where it's at now, bouncing into this upper demand, is that blue dash line you guys see, which was a former, let's go to a daily, former resistance point all the way back here. Okay, that's 3 years old, September 2022, but you guys can clearly see where this was just a gigantic start of a gigantic decline. So it just goes right through that demand zone. Now, I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but it's just an extra odds enhancer. It's just something I like to see. I love seeing those former resistance and support lines going through supply and demand zones that I'm looking to trade. So it's already bounced into it, as you can see from the from Friday's low, and obviously we're getting a spike up. So it's a potential to turn around and run up from here. And we are getting on a 4-hour time frame a big wick on the bottom side of the candle. Okay, we're just looking at this candle here, right? Getting that big wick at the bottom. And this candle for me ends, I think, at the top of this upcoming hour. So that's the only thing I would say. I believe that was Johnny Boy asking about that. Is that right? That 5 hours or 5 minutes? Yeah, just be aware of that. I mean, your higher time frames typically are going to be way stronger than the smaller time frames. So me personally, I would just be careful if you're trying to short that. Okay, again, you're trying to short this supply zone. Now this is a 4-hour time frame, but just be aware that you got a higher time frame candle with an ugly wick on the bottom, closing in the top half of the range of that candle, right? That could potentially just push you right on through it. So I don't say that to dissuade you. I just tell you just to be aware that is something that is shaping up at the moment, shaping up as we speak. And even if you go down to the 1 hour, okay, you got a little bit of you got a pretty strong bullish candle because you got a wick on the bottom, close at the very top. So would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing just go all the way through. So
yeah, so I see Johnny Boy is saying that he's using the RSI 1640 settings as confirmation, just to help.
Yep.
So the RSI in 1 hour and 30 minutes below 40. That's not giving me a good confidence, but I'll definitely watch it. Awesome, good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Read this chat quickly.
What's going on with this damn thing?
Guys, also in the you'll see in the chat there, there's a white little blurb in the top of the chat there. It gives you all of the details necessary to join today's giveaway. Right, so go and check it out. Maybe you could be today's winner. Again, what's it, 5K Forex Challenge accounts?
2.5, yeah, 2.5 kilos.
So, guys, I got out of this trade. It's not behaving the way I wanted to for a cup of coffee, which is a bit...
Hey, you got your coffee.
But yeah, I don't like this three-way format to the upside here. It's almost telling me that it's gonna maybe top out, at least for the interim. Maybe we having some sort of a longer or bigger correction unfolding here. So looked good initially, nearly made it to target, but then now he's sitting with all this mess here. So we'll try again, that's for sure.
Coffee.
What should go to target now? But anyway, back to you.
Yeah, I'm just getting rid of some of this junk off my screen. Yeah, so Aussie. So yeah, we went through the Aussie pairs. As far as the bearish pairs, we got here. I just wanted to make this a little smaller. Yeah, pound Aussie, pound CAD. Again, -13 and a -9. Let's take a look at those. Pound Aussie, pound CAD. Pound Aussie, pound CAD. There's pound Aussie right there. Daily time frame, lower lows, lower highs. So that's good. Trend is in my favor. 4-hour time frame. Okay. I think we talked about this last week. So we basically had price come up. We had this double top right here. So topping there, pretty much the same height before price reverse. So yeah, I talked about this last week, guys. Okay, those traders got to put their stop losses somewhere. So if they're putting their stop losses somewhere in this area, right in this supply zone where there's a potential for unfilled orders, that's a pretty good potential spot to sell. And remember, that supply zone took out a demand zone. So this is what I mentioned earlier when I said, what shows me that a zone is strong? Are we breaking a structure? Are we taking out opposing zones? So in this instance right here, is there a supply zone taking out a demand zone? Yes. This supply zone just chewed through this like hot knife through butter. And that was a pretty strong demand zone because look at the volume spread analysis below. Okay, the volume, the amount of trading that happened during this big impulse move up. Okay, that's pretty strong. That should have held, but it didn't. This supply zone was stronger and just chewed right through it. So that tells me that this supply zone is pretty strong. So where are we at currently? Okay, we missed the zone by a few pipettes once. We missed the zone by a few pipettes a second time, and we finally bounced into it. with a big rejection. Okay, this big rejection candle right here. So now what do we do? Well, I'd be looking for a confirmation entry on this thing. So here's where that price entered. Okay, now we're down to a 1 hour time frame. And I actually dropped it all the way down, I believe, to a 5 minute. This zone right here is a 5 minute zone. Let me just double check. Okay, so there's that same wick, what was a big ugly wick on a 4 hour time frame. This is now refined all the way down to a 5 minute time frame. So when we bounce up into here, I'm looking to short this thing. How far away are we? I think we're still a little bit of a ways away. Yeah, so here we go. So you guys can see I've got an alert set right there at 203.45, so pretty close to 203 half. 203 half is basically the proximal line of the 4 hour zone. You guys can see the 4 hour box hiding right behind that. Okay, so we've already bounced into that. So now I'm just looking for a second chance. Second chance.
Cool.
We broke some structures to the downside down here. Okay, so that tells me the market's trying to turn around. Now we just got to get that final pierce into that 5 minute zone, and we'll be rocking and rolling, taking this thing short like this. So that's what I'm gonna be keeping an eye on whenever that time comes. Did you have something, Richard?
Just quickly, I wanted to address the CBO's question 12.04, asking where to enter the Forex Fire password. So you got to head on over to our Discord channel. If you haven't joined our Discord channel, it is for free. It doesn't cost anything. Just go to the blurb on the top of the chat. I don't know if I can actually share that. Will it actually show up? No. But anyway, just go into the chat box where you're in right now. Maybe we can drop the link for you. There we go. The link just popped in right now. Join the channel, right? And then head on over to the trades, #trades secrets channel within our Discord. And there in the message box, you just basically go drop the word Forex Fire with your email address to enter, okay? And then our back end will basically select a winner. I don't know, during today's session, or will they let us know, or let the people know during the course of the day? I'm not 100% sure.
Sure, they're getting an email on it. Yeah, if you don't mind, maybe clarify that back end. I believe that was throughout the day, but we'll find out soon. But yeah, just do the easy part. Go ahead and enter that in, and there'll be some winners today. Okay, we'll announce them. Okay, so we'll basically be announcing them tomorrow in the same session. So basically, you have all day. Just go and do that while you're thinking about it. And hey, you could be the next winner.
Cool. All right. So enter today, announce tomorrow. Got it.
Got it. Awesome.
Yeah, just clear TCBO. Let us know if you're struggling with anything there. We're here to help.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll be in the Discord channel throughout the day as well. Coach Tiger, you guys can find me on there if you have any questions. And obviously there's moderators that are on there answering questions on the trading rules for the challenges and amongst many things, right? Promos, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. Come and holla at your boy.
Cool.
Pound CAD. That's gonna be the other super strong bearish score that I'm looking at. We're chewing through a supply zone right now. Back end, if you can move back on over to my chart real quick. Yeah. So look at this. So this is going to be my, what did I say that score was? -9. Yeah. So pretty strong bearish score. Now, as you guys can see, it's chewing through a supply zone as we speak. And I had no interest in shorting this right here. Why is that? Why, Tiger? That's a strong supply zone. Why the hell would you ignore that? Well, because if we look a little deeper, okay?
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
I'm sure I'm going to tell you. So the reason I'm not excited about it is because it bounced into a daily demand zone, okay? So to me, this daily demand zone is just too... price is just too close to that. So again, the higher time frame zones, doesn't matter if it's supply zone or demand zone. To me, the higher time frame zones supersede anything smaller, especially if it's this close. right? I mean, another thing too, if you look at this thing on a weekly time frame, if I turn off all my drawings and turn on my master pattern indicator, you guys can see if I go down to this spot, let's go to a daily, okay? See that big orange box? It just basically means larger time frame contraction. Okay, chop city, chop zone, diddle in the middle. So I'm not too, it doesn't really get me too excited if I'm trying to buy or sell something inside of a daily contraction box. Again, price needs to leave this box for me to start really getting excited, especially on a daily 4-hour supply and demand zone basis. So I just want to see it break out of there. Turn that off now. But yeah, up here, I've got a supply zone that I've already marked out that will be a little more feasible, okay? So that's daily. Let's go back to a 4-hour. Again, it's too close. Price hit here. I could definitely see price trying to search for a higher time frame supply zone. You've got a couple options out here, but really the most, to me, the highest probability would be this one way the heck up here. Now that's a long ways away, especially on a very bearish asset. So that's why I'm giving it the time of day to start looking at these zones here on a 2-hour basis. Got a couple 2-hour supply zones. There's one here and there's one here. Really strong drops, okay? This one here, and you guys can see I've got a white line inside of both of those. So that just basically means I've got a gap on some smaller time frames as well. I like to see different time frames looking at the same price zone. So this would be more of a confirmation entry if I try to short this market in this area. Okay, I want to see a break a structure on the downside. Something like that, right? Again, as always, we break this structure here. Break a structure. We see break a structure, we see that price is trying to roll over. And then obviously you get a new supply zone formed, bounces in, and you short it from that point. So that's confirmation entry. Up here would be probably still a confirmation entry, because if I'm looking at this thing high time frame, I mean, it's, you got to swing high up here, you got to swing low. It's kind of in the middle. Okay, those 2-hour supply zones pretty much in this chop zone. So that's the one thing to be aware of, and that's why I would prefer if price came all the way up here, because that would be selling at a much higher premium. Why sell my used car for $15,000 here when I could sell it up here for $20,000, right? So that's just one analogy. But as strong of a bearish score as this thing's given me, again, it's a -9. It may not get anywhere close to going up there. But I still, as strong of a bearish score as it is, I still don't feel comfortable selling in this area here, because again, it hit that higher time frame demand, 4-hour and the daily. So we'll go for this. We'll see if we can get a turnaround here, but it's still got a ways to go. I mean, it's got about 80, 90 pips just to get up there, right? So that's 127 pips. Okay, yeah, so quite a ways away. Quite a ways away. What's the ATR on this thing? Okay, so this thing moves 100 pips a day on average. Okay, the ATR score is 100. Okay, if you guys are ever looking at ATR, this is a really good way to see if your asset moves like a slug or if it moves like a race car. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So you just take the score. Right, let me make that a little bigger so everybody can see it. Okay, you just take the score. Oh, I can't do it there. Well, anyway, I'll get out of that. Let's do this. I'm just making this bigger so you guys can see. Okay, this is your ATR score. This tells you, again, how fast or slow does it move. So all you got to do to see how many pips a day it moves is just ignore the very last digit, ignore the 4, and then just look at the digits in front of it. Okay, that's 100. 100 pips a day. We ignore the pipette, which is the 4 in this case, and we only care about the digits in front of it. Ignore the decimal, ignore the zeros in front. That's how you find out how fast or slow your asset moves, your currency pair. Okay, in this case, pound Canada dollar. So 100 pips a day is a pretty good mover. I like that. I like 80 pips or higher. Mm-hmm. That's the way I like to trade. I like currencies that move. I like something with some gusto. Okay, it doesn't just go in a very small range throughout the course of the day. So that's a quick and easy way to read that. But yeah, you just simply go to your indicators tab, type in ATR, average true range. Okay, however you want to type that in, and it'll pop up. So
Cool.
anyway,
Just quickly, Tiger, TCBO asking question there, if you can have a look.
yeah, what we got here, TCBO. Can I please?
Johnny, I'll have a look at gold in just a while for you.
Can I please get an invite to All Up Prime TV? Are you talking about the Discord channel? Yeah, All Up Prime. Yeah. Just like, share, subscribe. If you're talking about the YouTube page. And then, yeah, as far as the Discord channel, it's got all that on there as well. The All Up
You
Prime
should
TV.
just be able to log in there with that link that we dropped in there.
Yep. Like you said earlier, there's no cost or anything. It's a free channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, just go and follow those instructions, and it should let you in. But again, I'll be on the Discord personally later. So just holler at me again, Coach Tiger, and there's also moderators that are in there all day, 24/7, I believe it is. So
Cool.
But that's basically all I got on the pound CAD. Nothing to do with it right now. FTSE, we talked about the FTSE. It's a -7. Let's see what the FTSE is doing there. Where you at? There you are. Daily time frame. Okay, so daily time frame. What have we got? Higher highs and higher lows. Unless you want to count this as a low point right here, and then we would be having a lower low. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It hasn't really given me the lower high yet. So do I want to guess where the lower high is going to be? Well, I mean, if you wanted to be aggressive about it, you do have a couple 4-hour supply zones. Got one here, got one here. But obviously the best one would be at the very top where you got a 4-hour inside of a daily. So we're a ways away from all those. Okay, I don't see hitting those anytime soon. Perhaps we hit this one in the next day or so. But yeah, from where things currently stand right now, again, a very bearish signal of a -7 score. This is a very similar thing to what we just looked at in the pound CAD. We hit a higher time frame demand zone at the bottom, 4-hour daily. Okay, but yet the signal is to sell, right? Well, I don't want to sell it yet. It hit that higher time frame demand. Plus, as you can see, it's kind of already chewed through it. And just scroll down to a smaller time frame. Okay, it's already pretty much blown through it. So I don't know. I don't think I'm too excited about this right now. Maybe we start breaking some structures of the downside, possibly on some smaller time frames. But where it sits right now, I don't really have a signal. I don't really have any interest in it. So yeah, we're gonna skip the FTSE. We're gonna skip the OnlyFans. Okay, we're not gonna be selling any food today.
Yeah, stay away.
Yeah,
dollar yen. Look at gold quickly for Johnny Boy, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Absolutely. Was that me or you? I'm sorry.
I can have a look quickly.
Oh, okay.
We all got our different views, which is good. So back in, we can switch to my screen, please.
Ooh.
I don't know, Johnny Boy. You want to think what I think over the long run, or or what's happening now? Intraday type of vibes. Long run, I think we could still head lower, but that this whole thing that we're in right now is just corrective. Okay. In the shorter term, I think we probably heading higher to around 4113, 4131 perhaps. Okay. I just want to go to a 15-minute time frame here and tell you the reason why. Since this move higher here started last week Tuesday, looks very impulsive, and then I think we've seen here a complete correction downwards. A double zigzag, A, B, C, X, and another A, B, C, A, B. Let me just take this magnet mode off. So a double zigzag, and now we're seeing a nice 5-wave sequence out of here. So what does a 5-wave sequence tell you? Well, once it ends, you're probably going to get a correction, which we had. And with price heading now back upwards after a 5-wave sequence, you can then expect, not always, but at least to some degree, a continuation upwards. So I'll be rather careful trading long into this high over here, which is this downward sloping median line. That yellow one, which is around about 4091 currently. Okay, you can see by just selecting those 3 anchor points after the first ABC pattern that the prices respected these angles really well, especially over here on that median line. So if we get a decline now, even better. I'll be interested in trading gold to the upside, to be honest, but I would like to see price pull into this median line again. See how it tested it once, twice, 3 times, and now it's blasted through it. So if we can get a retest, and again, I'm looking at angular support and resistance here. It's pretty much the same as you would have with the horizontal line, right? So classic analysis would tell you price bumps its head into an area, right? And then eventually it breaks through, and then you get a retest. So resistance turn into support type of vibe, and then get a continuation upwards. Now I'm doing the same here with the angles, looking a little bit like at the legs or the phases price might be in. So ideally for me, if we can get a pullback, resistance, 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 angular resistance could then hopefully act as support to then trade this back to the upside intraday. That's definitely something I'm looking at today, so I'm glad that you did ask about gold. So I'm looking at support, and I know you're looking at supply and demand zones as well, but currently that's around about there where we have that median line.
A little interesting.
So that's around about 4070. No, actually higher. 4072, 4073. So I'll drop a line in there. It looks like we are getting a nice move lower, so it's not too far off. Hopefully during this session we can see price get into there and hopefully get a bounce upwards. Even on a 5-minute, because I'm looking at a smaller time frame on the side here, I wouldn't have gone long, for example, here anyway, because we have a 5-wave sequence already into that high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would have been, I wouldn't get long there. I would like to see something like this, or maybe one sharp move like price is currently giving us into that area, and then try to trade this to the upside. So hopefully that makes sense. That is what I'm looking for. We might even not get there if price pulls back onto the same angle where we had these previous overthrows. That might have been it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I see exactly what he's looking at. I mean, it is a pretty nice looking supply zone. The only downfall to it, and the whole reason I'm not interested, is because it already bounced into a higher time frame demand zone below. Back in, if you don't mind, just flip just for a second. Yeah, it for that demand zone or supply zone. I'll just wait till we get my.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just waiting back in. If you can flip over to mine real quick. Yeah, so when it comes to your supply zone, okay, that's going to be that white line, right? Now, it's inside of a 1-hour supply zone, which I do like. Problem is, or the challenge I say is if we kind of scroll out, we're kind of riding this upwards trend line, connecting a bunch of low points here, which is nice to see. We did have price come down though and already hit a demand zone, 1-hour demand zone. And once we created this demand zone here, it actually created, now it depends on how you look at this. I kind of look at this as a breaking this structure, right? So this impulse leg broke this structure. So to me, it looks like it's trying to wrap around and start flying up again or move up again. And then obviously it retraced into that 1-hour demand zone. And then that's where it's taken back off. So it's getting a reaction off of this 1-hour demand zone and moving up. I don't know if I would want to personally be getting in the way of that. because again, that break of structure looks pretty nice. It looks pretty prominent. But yeah, I absolutely love the supply zone, because again, there's your 1 hour supply. You go down to your 15-minute time frame, and you're talking about this candle right here. Okay, this 15-minute candle here. Now, this 15-minute candle did break this structure just barely, but I would have liked to have seen it do a little bit more. Like if it could have fallen down, a little bit more down before it retraced up, that would have made me a little more excited. But instead, what it did is drop, base, drop. So it kind of based for quite a while, 1430 all the way to 1800. So basically 3.5 hours. I just would have liked to have seen it do more. So that's why I'm personally not too excited about it. Now you are starting to get some wicks, which is looking nice. So I'm not saying don't take the trade. I'm just saying what I would do. I'd probably ignore it just because of that. You are getting those wicks though on the top. Maybe you call that what do you call that? An upside down tweezer top, I guess. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wicking in nicely. I mean, I could very easily see it rolling over. I just would say this, you've kind of got this short-term uptrend, which you need. You have to have a counter move into your zone ultimately to place the trade. So, for a little bit of confirmation, maybe you look to break this structure, or break this structure down here, this little swing bottom, and then get a retracement back up like that. Right? There's a couple different ways of doing it, but I would at least want to see it break that structure, or if it was even stronger, break that structure. Something like that, and then just look for a newly formed supply zone that would potentially get created here. Okay, if we get a decline through that structure, and then a retracement, look for a newly formed supply zone to short it. It's not your original one, right? But it's showing strength. It's showing the want to reverse, because again, we did hit that 1 hour demand zone down here. Well, not is that right? Yeah, 1 hour. Yeah, right. So it's all subjective. Obviously, if your risk management says go for it, go for it. I'm very picky. I probably annoy a lot of people with my analysis of zones, but I've seen for almost 12 years now what zones work the best and which ones don't work the best, and it's just a matter of being picky and making sure that those zones are showing strength. In the context of the trend and obviously the fundamental analysis. And if you even zoom all the way out, look at this on a 4 hour chart, okay? It's just right in the middle of a bunch of sideways garbage, right?
Yep.
It really is. Stop and think about it.
Sure is. And I think we're still going to come down a little bit more. Only a tad.
Yeah.
We'll see, guys.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like gold and silver, they're both showing neutral scores. So silver is a +3, gold is a +2. Again, +5 or higher is a bullish signal for my taste. Maybe not for yours, but for my taste. And I've kind of got an embarrassment of riches right now because I got so many very bullish setups. I mean, I've got 2 very bullish and 2 very bearish. So that's 4 very, very strong items for me to be looking at. Okay, so I personally, I don't care about anything else. I'm going to look at these for the day. Aussie, yeah, we'll take another look. Aussie, I just want to see if we have anything on a smaller time frame yet that's been created. Okay, this is
by the way, we still have 10 minutes left. It's actually went pretty fast, to be honest.
That is.
To all our viewers, guys, thanks for joining today. Again, we've tried out we are trying out a new format with these sessions. So thanks for joining. I see Starboy also joined. And guys, please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It really helps the channel grow. So we really appreciate that. And again, go and enter into those giveaways, and we'll announce the winner tomorrow. So exciting stuff. Also have obviously the futures coaches coming up after us, so do stay tuned for that, because we will also be giving away a 25k challenge account if you'd like to trade futures in the States. So
that's right.
Go and sign up, guys. Go and sign up. So I just wanted to mention that
Absolutely. Yeah, and give us a like. It goes a
Jerry.
long way. Goes a long way. Yeah, I was just looking at some of these major pairs for the moment. Just looking to see if there's anything nice looking on a smaller time frame. Yeah, I mean, there's euro dollar, guys. Downtrend if we're looking at this 15-minute time frame, 30-minute. We are bouncing into a supply. It looks like a 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour supply. 15 minutes. Am I getting any kind of? Okay, so yeah, look, I'm not seeing any inefficiency in this market. Okay, so 1 hour supply zone, but I went down by 4. I divided it by 4 to go down to a 15-minute time frame, and I'm not seeing any gaps in here in this area. Now there's a gap down here, but it's outside of that supply zone. Okay, there would be a gap. So that would be a 15-minute supply right here. Okay, all this up here, you got wicks, candle bodies overlapping. So there's no real gaps, no real inefficiencies in the market. Looks pretty efficient. This would be the first inefficiency down here. Problem is, okay, I go back to that word problem again. Problem is we hit a higher time frame demand. Okay, we hit that 4 hour demand inside of a daily. We wicked in it beautifully. This is the euro dollar. Okay, we are getting a downtrend if we're looking at this from a 4 hour time frame. But when we hit a higher time frame demand like we did, then all of this right here is off. None of this is interesting to me. I could very easily see this demand zone push price at least back up to this top area. Okay, this would be too low on the curve for me to want to be trying to short this. So that's why, even though that looks pretty decent on a 1 hour time frame, okay, it's not attractive because we've already dipped into higher time frame. The supply zone made a new low. It broke this structure. So that by definition is an impulse move. But all bets are off when you hit higher time frame zones on the opposite side. So I'm ignoring this. Gonna actually, just basically paint that light red. Just that way I know that it's something bad with it. And then, just going a little higher. It looks like I did draw up a zone up here. So that would be, I guess we could say that would be a 30-minute supply. And I may not even be interested in this just because, again, it's not going to surprise me at all to see.
Because you're picky.
Yeah. Hey, being picky is what's kept me solvent. That's what's kept me solvent.
All good, all good.
But yeah, that's a very strong supply zone. So it looks great. It looks great. But again, did it take out an opposing zone? Yeah, it took out some of these others to the left. But all bets are off when you start bouncing into major demand zones, major supply zones. It's very similar to support resistance in that aspect, right? If you bounce into a support, okay, it's been hit 2 or 3 times, looks pretty strong, looks pretty sturdy. So a similar thing in supply and demand, except this time we're just taking away unfilled orders. So I definitely ain't too interested in that. I'm just not. I'd be more interested up in this area. So yeah, nothing for euro dollar. Too congested at the moment. Yeah, possibly this 4 hour, 1 hour zone might work out. I'm actually gonna, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And not only that, Richard, I'm not even getting a bearish or bullish signal. It's pretty well neutral. So I'm gonna wait. If it's not on my edge finder, as far as a swing style signal or alert, not interested. But yeah, that's euro dollar. You already been talking about the pound dollar. Yeah, same thing. It's kind of riding that downtrend line. So yeah, again, we already kind of talked about it. I've got that alert set on this 4 hour zone. I believe that was who was that was talking about that? I forgot who. Mr. Peeps, I think it was. So yeah, that'll be the spot I look at on the pound dollar. Let me double check one thing real quick, guys. What did I have that as? Pound dollar on the bearish side, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bearish side. So -6.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that'll be my spot to be watching, and perhaps we bounce into there today or tomorrow. Dollar yen. This was another bullish signal. Okay. I don't think I've mentioned this one yet, but daily 4 hour demand a little deeper. Okay. So this is higher time frame potential buy, but zooming in to some smaller time frames. Okay, 2 hour. So we got a 2 hour candle here. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm really not that excited about this. Look at the volume spread analysis candles. Yuck! Okay, there wasn't a whole lot of trading that took place in this area. So, yes, by definition, we got a gap. Okay, so there's your fair value gap. But I'm not too excited because we didn't have, it's not like it was a ton of trading that took place to create this. So I'm just not that excited about it. And obviously, it's obviously the opening of the session, the weekly session, which for me is over here in the U.S. is Sunday evening. So I don't think I'm too excited about that. If this would have been a nice yellow candle or at least a bigger candle like these candles over here, maybe. But yeah, Sunday open, you don't typically get a ton of trading volume. So I kind of look at that as what they call in Spanish, a falso amigo. Okay, a falso amigo. Fake friend.
Tiger, just quickly, we got Cherry asking about the DAX.
Right.
We still have about 3 minutes left. We're going to switch
German
over to our
DAX.
opening bell. So please have a squiz over there.
German DAX. Yeah. So, yeah, fundamentally pretty neutral. Don't really have a very good fundamental reason to buy this, but we'll definitely take a look from a technical perspective. And I've got a couple of them over here. I'm going to use this one over here. All right. So, higher time frame. Okay. If I turn on my master pattern, you're going to see I got some contraction area. So this just basically means sideways action. I don't even need the indicator to see that, but you guys can clearly see it's just been going straight sideways. You're talking about a $800, $900 range now for since May. So as boring gets on a weekly time frame. Daily, looks like we're peaking out lower. Okay, we got this impulse leg down. We've broken through this double bottom, triple bottom if you include this one over here. So we must have some type of strength in here. Okay, to be breaking through those double and triple bottoms. So let's go down to a 4 hour time frame and see what we got. Oh, and I guess my volume spread analysis doesn't work for this one, but nevertheless, we are bouncing into a 4 hour supply as we speak. Okay, there's your supply zone right there. It looks to me like it's trying to react from it, but it's kind of towards the bottom. Okay, it's towards the bottom. So if we're getting a neutral reading, I don't know. I mean, obviously the aggressive trade would be to just short it in this area. Where's my 1 hour? Okay, if I'm looking at from my fair value gap on a 1 hour time frame, you could be looking here, be looking at that last green candle up or this red candle. I would just use that. You've just missed it. So if you're really trying to be aggressive, bounce into that supply zone, you might have a short on your hands. Pretty strong down move. I mean, that's not a bad move.
What was your score on there? Neutral.
Yeah, the DAX is showing neutral. Let me double check on that. Okay. So it's basically showing a 2. It's a +2. So that's the thing. You're also getting a very, very slight positive boost to this fundamentally. So nice. Economic outperformance, right? So yeah, if you're not looking at that, if you're just looking at technicals only, hell, that might be a nice little short set up right there.
Cool. Awesome. Right, Cherry. So that was the DAX for you, Mr. Peeps. Yeah, great having you in the morning session as well. Well, morning your time, it's a little bit afternoon my time. Yeah. Very early for Coach Tiger, but we're glad to be back at this hour. Thanks for joining us, guys. We unfortunately reached the end of Forex Fire, and we'll be switching over to the futures coaches when they bring you the opening bell. So do stay tuned for that. And again, join us tomorrow. We're going to be announcing the winners of the 5K Forex Challenge accounts tomorrow. So again, also if you haven't joined registered yet, go and follow that link in Discord. You still have lots of time to do that today, and we'll announce that tomorrow. From my side,
and I'll be in Discord. Come holler at your boy.
Adios.
Futures Jet. Have a
Cheers,
good one.
Tiger. Have a good one, bud.
Cheers. Salud.
Bye-bye.
Cacao.